What's up, guys? It's Gardy B with the Jenkins and Jonez show. As always, I'm here with my good internet buddies, Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
What's up, guys?
LeJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, bubbas? And if you fuck with us, you want to see more of our content, please jump on YouTube and subscribe to our channel.
Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Wednesday, March 2nd. I cleared my throat 700 times before we started recording, and then we were laughing right before we started recording, so I still needed to clear my throat during the intro. As always, Jenkins and Jonez is hosted by my buddies, Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Had to get
that
mic around like I was on stage. Like I was a temptation of this motherfucker.
Thinking
Motown shit.
Thinking Michael Jackson.
LeJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, bubbas?
I'm Gardy B, a.k.a. Mike. Lots of fun stuff to talk about today, but first thing we have to talk about is the eighth wonder of the world, Ja motherfucking Morant.
It used to be Zion.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
That's not
It
even
still
like-
could be Zion. It's the kid is what, 21 years old, with an injury. Let's not write the obituary on that young man until, he comes back at least. If he's coming back looking trash, then, it might be time to have that conversation, but it's all about right now.
I don't want to talk about anything that makes me sad right now. I just want to talk about Ja.
We don't have to clown Zion to lift up Ja. Ja's like way better than that. You know what I mean? It's interesting that people are saying things like Oden, KD is Ja and Zion. I'm like, bro, come on. Oden played like 14 games, man. Zion was putting up 26 and 12 off of like 70% from the field. It's not even close. I agree with Tyler. I'm just being silly.
Why does everything in the NBA, why does everyone have to peg everything to something that happened previously?
Some negative shit too. Like, it's got to be like, Zion can't just be hurt. He has to be Greg Oden. You know what I mean? Like, bro.
I mean, that's just how the sport is wired, right? Like, it's not anything new. It's not social media shit. Like, it was Bill Russell versus Will Chamberlain 60 years ago. It was fucking Magic versus Bird 40 years ago. You know what I mean? It was fucking MJ versus everybody in the fucking league. You know what I'm saying? During his run. So that's just kind of how it is.
But Zion Oden, is that not a wildly like
that is
incorrect,
we're jumping the gun on that
unnecessary take, bro?
It sucks for Greg Oden too. It's like, what's your legacy? Was that you? If people have bad luck with injuries, can you imagine being a human being who is still a really accomplished human being in the grand scheme of things, and people hear your name and they just think about being hurt?
I saw Greg Oden in the gym and in a Gold's gym, and he looked like he was doing great. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, like Greg Oden is super solid, well off, you know what I mean? And we look at him like this motherfucker on Skid Row probably, right? You know what I mean? Like, what happened to Greg Oden? Bro, he's fine. He was an NBA player. That pinching is slapping, bro.
I feel like Greg Oden over KD. I think that's the last time we'll say you take a good big over a good wing regardless. You know what I mean? I think that was like the fucking grand finale of that school of thought in basketball.
There's like a historical element to it. That's very fair. But let's talk about the eighth wonder of the world.
One
Ja
second.
fucking Morant. What?
They should have known about Greg Oden because he had the oldest face in NBA history.
It's not revisionism. Like, everyone at the time was saying, bro, you got to take KD there. But they had Brandon Roy, so
right.
But yeah.
And at that time, it was like Brandon Roy and KD. They can't exist in the same NBA starting lineup. That shit, that was the 17th century. Bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody read that off a scroll, bro.
Hear ye. We did not have two prominent wings in 2007.
Reading T-Myth.
Reading the fucking scouting analysis by Lantern Light. Man, that's funny. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, with Brandon Roy, there's no room for Kevin
to operate.
And then that man went on to be part of the greatest team ever with fucking Clay and Steph, right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Maybe three
in the modern era, though.
The three best shooters.
It was a different time.
With probably three of the five best shooters in NBA history.
Yeah.
Can I say that? You know what I mean? On one
yeah.
backcourt. Jesus Christ almighty. I get shivers thinking about that.
Shiver me timbers.
Shiver me timbers. Shaking in me boots.
I'll be honest with you. I did not have in my list of things that was going to happen today. I did not have Greg Oden derailing us from getting to a conversation about Ja Morant.
We had to tell the truth, guys. You know, save the internet from its lies.
I think Ja Morant, I mean, I'm trying to remember the last time you had a young player this exciting. That game a couple nights ago, he had 52 points. He basically didn't miss. He had like 3 career highlights in one night on just an unbelievable assassination dunk. Then he had a deep 3, like almost from half court. And then he had a buzzer beater, caught a full court pass from Steven Adams midair and put it up before I think it was a 0.4 on the clock. How excited are you about Ja Morant? And how much fun is it to watch someone go from an exciting young player to a dude that you really have confidence in, you know, in terms of his longevity and staying power as a face of the league?
I love Ja. I've loved him since his rookie season. I didn't pay attention to him at Murray State. I'm not gonna act like I'm some college aficionado. You know what I mean? So
you probably watched the tournament games. Though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's when I got hip to him. I was like, this motherfucker can jump out the gym. Goddamn. But yeah, I think this season he's the best point guard in the league. I tweeted that out, and going back to what you said about how we always, in NBA discussions, we always, make players, bump heads. Everyone was a lot of people were pushing back with Luka, for that. And Luka had a bumpy start for the top of the season. So that's why I said Ja's been the best point guard this season, because he's been, balling from fucking, opening night, till now. But yeah, it's I was kind of on the whole, we're gonna get some Luka versus Ja MVP battles in a few years, and it seems like people are already kind of picking up on the Luka versus Ja thing. That seems to be a pretty big discussion right now.
Bro, Ja, y'all know I bought a jersey like 6 weeks ago. I was all the way in. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's not a player in the league that's more exciting to watch, and it's crazy to say, in a league with people like Giannis, KD, who are physical freaks, and a guy that's 6'3", that looks like somebody I probably work with in height. I mean, his athleticism is it's fucking that dial is on 140. You know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, measurables are much different than the guy that works for me. But no, it's insane to see what he's doing in year 3. People are talking about MVP. He's at the top of some people's MVP race, and I don't know if he's there, but I mean the kid is special. You know what I mean? He's special. Also,
Allen
1
Iverson,
second, that 3 he shot, that was like 4 minutes in. That was the most unnecessary. They were like 6 points down. He was like, fuck it, I'm just going to shoot a 40-footer, see how I'm feeling. Oh, yeah, I'm going for 50 tonight. You know what I mean?
Electricity in his hands built up to where he was like, no, I just got to get this one off.
We saw him in full superhero mode. You know what I mean?
Allen Iverson tweeted a picture out. He also bought a Ja Morant jersey and then draped it over his MVP trophy. It was like,
Zoom
propaganda going.
No, but I think one thing I like about AI is that AI is a fan of these players, like these players were a fan of him, and that is so special. Can you imagine Ja Morant probably grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell by his game that he watched AI. You know what I'm saying? You can tell watching these players who they grew up watching. You know what I'm saying? He reminds me of him as far as in how he plays the game. You know what I mean? And like, to see AI show that much love, you know what I mean? Like, it meant way more than probably me throwing a jersey on. I know he liked my tweet, but but I mean, AI, but dog, I think that's so special that AI does things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And going off what you said, I definitely think AI sees a lot of himself in Ja, because they were both fucking fearless about going to the paint, right? Like, AI was not scared to go down there and mix it up with those giants down low. And Ja is leading the league in point paints this year, which is absurd for a fucking point guard. But yeah, going back to AI, man, he's such a great ambassador for the game. You know what I mean? He's an old head who shows love. Like, we have old heads out here, saying Giannis wouldn't fucking last in the 80s which is ridiculous.
Lying.
And then
they're lying in front
through their motherfucking teeth.
Like, come on, bro.
Right. And then, we see Giannis and AI having that moment, if you saw that, where Giannis was like, yo, you're the reason I play basketball, and AI was just, super appreciative of that. So, just give me all the AI content with the newer generation, because that shit is always a 10 out of 10 every fucking time.
Give me the Zeke content too. I didn't think I'd say this, but give me the Zeke content too. That man be keeping it a stack. He straight up said he would cook fried die and fricassee your ass every motherfucking night. You kidding? You saying? They said he said he would do that now, 30 years ago, and in 3020, he would be doing the same thing. It's crazy these people be lying. And Zeke is one of the people that keep it a stack whenever he talks about these current players. So good for him.
That was actually that was actually the next thing I want to talk about was Zeke and AI talking about Giannis, because Isaiah, I mean, that's like, thank God someone is being honest about that shit, bro. You imagine like the great centers of the 80s and 90s trying to keep up with fucking Giannis, bro.
They talking about hitting him. Yeah, you got to catch him first. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, he's like a big motherfucker
but
too,
hitting
bro.
Him, have you looked at Giannis? Dude, they say this about Bron and Giannis. You know what I'm saying? This is what you're saying about two of the most like gifted, built. You know what I'm saying? Like we're talking about Bron as if he would play tight end. He could play tight end. How gifted he is physically. Come on, G.
He couldn't withstand the pounding.
Right.
Of the 1990s.
We would have fought him. And he would have lost.
He'll beat y'all ass.
He would have beat your monkey ass. Okay, sit your old ass down. Golly, Bubba. Sheesh, can't stand it.
But yeah, but I definitely love how Zeke is often, the voice of reason here. A lot of people try to write him off as an MJ hater, and I'm like, who gives a fuck if he doesn't like MJ? Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone, fucking, clamors for the glory days in the past where players didn't like each other. Okay, well, Zeke still doesn't like MJ, and he needs to be on Zeke's. It needs to be on Jordan's ass too. Right. He beat Jordan. You feel me? Zeke is 3-1 in the postseason. He sent MJ home 3 straight seasons. I can understand why he doesn't want to kiss that man's ring, bro. It's
I used to whoop that nigga ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is your king. This is your king. I'm 3-1 against this motherfucker. You feel me? Sheesh.
Yeah.
That dream team shit is still fresh too.
But it should be. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick, bro. It's sick. I mean, Stockton, okay, but come on, man. They pulling somebody up from college. Like Leitner. I mean, he had a mediocre NBA career. You pull him straight up from college and don't have. Come on, G. There's no way Zeke shouldn't have been on there. Like you said, he fit. He met the criteria. Is that what he said?
I felt like I met the criteria. I didn't understand why I was left out.
Right. Hey, I agree with you, Zeke. I agree with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only
Shouts
thing,
to Zeke, man.
The only other thing I wanted to say about the AI Giannis thing is I thought it was really touching because you could see Giannis was really trying to pour his heart out, like in that moment, just in the room with him. But I definitely felt like AI was like, he was touched, but it was not the time for Giannis to be trying to say all that shit. He was clearly trying to get to someone on the other side of the room or get to something else. He was like, I appreciate that. That's love. I appreciate that. And Giannis is just like, you are the reason I started playing basketball. Like, reading his story, he's like, he was begging for quarters to go into an internet cafe in Greece to pay 50 cents or whatever to go on YouTube, to rent YouTube for a half hour. So he could watch Allen Iverson highlights, bro. And he's trying to tell this story to AI in the middle of a room with all the other greatest players. Is like, bro, you need to get dinner with that man. This is not the time for this story, bro.
But I also think AI be high. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
He be
overlook that.
Super duper high. So have you ever been in a situation where somebody is, showing love and you high as hell? You like, it don't quite compute the way it would if you didn't have that tree running through you. You know what I'm saying? It feels good, but it's also like, bro.
Yeah.
Like, also, I'm high, Bubba. Don't interrupt the wave. You feel me? The wave is hitting me nicely right now, G.
That's exactly what that exchange sounded like to me. It was like Giannis, just like an earnest puppy, just like, I need to tell, like, as though he's not one of the best basketball players in the world, as though he's just like a fan where it was like, my parents were getting divorced and your highlights were like really important to me. He's just trying to tell his whole story, and AI is like, I appreciate that. That's nice. Thank you. That's love.
The chat was, hey, I'm kind of fucked up right now. So like, hey, here's my number.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna holler at Nobu, all right? You know what I'm saying? Meet you at Ruth's Chris, you know? But hey, man, this Blue Dream kicking my ass right now, okay?
All right, I'm a little horrified about our next topic. But Gary Payton has said that Shaquille O'Neal would
oh my God,
pee into a bucket for multiple days. And that part of the hazing for playing with Shaq was he would then pour the bucket of urine on your head. First of all, do we believe the story? And second of all, have you ever wanted anything in your life bad enough to get a bucket of pee on your head for it?
I don't know if this is true or not, but Shaq's silence speaks volumes right here. Because if this ain't true, you got to refute this shit publicly, quickly as fuck. But that's so wild, because if Shaq does that to you, you're going to be smelling like Shaq's piss. And if you run up on him, you're going to get your ass beat. So you're just going to be pissy and bloodied. But I tell you what, he wouldn't have tried me like that. He might have done it to me, but we'd have just had to fight. I'd have known I was getting my ass whooped. But sometimes it ain't about if you're going to win or not. You got to take a stand, bro. And I'm taking a stand if you're not going to dump any more piss on me without a fight coming with that, dog.
Yeah. Just like Chad Butler said, you feel me? The fight come with that for sure, dog. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand on something. And the fact that, bro, if he knows if he dumps piss on you, a fight comes with that, he ain't going to dump piss again. You know what I'm saying? He might win, but it's going to hurt to get that issue off. You feel what I'm saying? He got to know something come with it, Bubba. You can't just be out here getting piss dumped on you. Big Shaq piss, 7'1" piss. You know what I mean? Was refuted by his son. But yeah, dog, I think it's a lie. I mean, I think it's a lie, and I think Shaq doesn't want to call GP a liar on Maine. You know what I'm saying? He tried to keep but I mean, dog, I don't know if it's either GP's the biggest liar ever, or he is like keeping it real goes wrong, G. That's not, do you understand the time period we're in? That is not, back then, that may have slid. You know, now that's like, bro, maybe. Now it's like, yo, that's some wild shit. But imagine your dream coming true. You're an NBA player only to get pissed dumped on you.
I'm on Shaq's team.
Right. You celebrating draft day. You know what I mean? Not knowing in the future in 3 months, Shaq is dumping a bucket of piss on your head while you on the toilet, G. That's a cold, man, with the world cold. But that couldn't have happened, right? That couldn't have happened. Is it that crazy?
Not, man. I hope not. We just saw like that whole clip of Shaq just like being the hugest humanitarian on the world. That family bought them a car and dinner and all that. And then we find out this story like 3 days later. It's like the duality of man or some shit. I
think that's Shaq, though. I think Shaq plays those wild
Shaq.
tricks. You know what I'm saying? I think that he plays those wild tricks, but he's also very loving and like very down to earth. You know what I mean?
I feel like Shaq views like everyone outside of basketball as his equal, and he has a very fucking deeply rooted superiority complex against NBA players, it seems like. You know what I mean? And with good reason. Shaq was a bad motherfucker. Like I've said before, like, we talk about how bitter Shaq is and how he always, throws himself into conversations. And I feel like sometimes he should. I feel like sometimes we forget how dominant Shaq was. There are times when I think back to three-peat Shaq, and I think that might have been the best basketball player I've ever seen in my life, bro. Seriously.
At least the most unstoppable, for sure.
Yeah. He said during the All-Star game, before the All-Star game, they were talking about LeBron. And he said he kind of waved off whatever the shot sheet was to just be like, I need to say something. And he said, I'm jealous of LeBron because he's part of a conversation, whether he is or is not the greatest of all time. He's part of that conversation, and I'm not part of that conversation. Yeah. And you could tell it really bothered him. But at the same time, he was a dude who, I mean, we were just talking about Luka. Shaq had the same thing as the reverse New Year's resolution. He was fat as fuck in January. You know what I mean? Like at the start of the year, he's playing his way into shape. Most of us, we're in shape in January, and then the rest of it goes away. Luka and Shaq, they enjoy the off season.
They have balance in their life. You know what I'm saying? Good for them.
Correct.
And Shaq, and when it was time to play, when it was playoff time, when it was time to get dubs, you could always count on him, G. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm not tripping off that. But yeah, when I think of Shaq, I think of a top 5 player. It's hard for me not to have him in the top 5, being that I've seen him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I saw how dominant he was. I saw how unstoppable he was. I saw him grab Dudley with his legs and lift him up out the air and then dunk on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dudley had nothing he could do but throw the ball at Shaq. And you imagine how pissed he was to throw the ball at Shaq? Like, he knew he was going to get watched on national television. Right?
Yeah.
But he had to get
He was not a human being in that moment. He was a primal animal.
He was a man in front of his children that got treated like a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he had to do something before he went home to his family explaining what the hell happened on that court. But yeah, man, Shaq was incredible.
He's definitely the most dominant player I've ever seen. Just being a big dude like that who could do whatever he wants. It's like the NFL players that there's the saying like, there's no better feeling in the world than moving a man who doesn't want to be moved, right? Like that's how Shaq played. He didn't play basketball like a basketball player. He wasn't like dancing around people. It was like, watch Shaq spin move someone's teeth through the back of their skull. This shit was just special. But when he was in LA, Tyler, I feel like it's exactly what you said. He was like an urban legend. It would be like 1 week, the paper would be like, Shaq, stopped by, I remember like someone had a flat tire and it was like a lady who was like on the road by herself and it was like a road that didn't really have a shoulder. So he stopped his like big ass Suburban or Escalade behind her car. And then he waited with her for like 45 minutes for the tow truck to come. And then the next day you read about Shaq slapped a rookie on the back of his head and his fucking flesh peeled off from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just like a big dude with a big heart who like expresses himself in I remember reading about he and his wife had to put like 2 Cali King beds together.
Right. Yes. Right.
I mean, it's just like everything about him is just bigger than life. So I guess it makes sense that his hazing would be bigger than life, but I hope that story's not true.
Yeah, I hope not. Did y'all see that clip when he talked about why he started dunking? He said he grew up, idolizing Magic. He said Magic was the player he wanted to be like. And, he said he was in high school and, one time he had like, a fucking wide open look and he tried to do a fancy finger roll and he bricked it. And during the timeout, his pops pulled him outside and asked him, why didn't you dunk that? And Shaq said before he could even answer, his pops just slapped the shit out of him. And Shaq said like after that, that's why he dunked so angrily because he thinks back to that moment. So, shouts to childhood trauma, I guess, for creating one of the most dominant players ever. But that's a wild story too, though.
That's a wild.
Yeah,
very of the time, bro. That wasn't abnormal.
Well, a military dad slapping the shit out of you in '89. Yeah. Like that's
a military dad
happens,
that he wrote a
right?
song about because he loved so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
I wish I could remember where I saw this interview. I've always been kind of obsessed with Shaq just because, growing up in Southern California, it's like you grew up with a fucking like a Nordic god or whatever. You know what I mean?
Nordic?
Was it Norse? I couldn't remember what the word was. Norse. It's like growing up. It's like, oh, Thor is on television again. You know what I mean? It's just it was like different than just having a great basketball player. But I remember I saw an interview with him where he talked about his dad. And he did not want to say anything bad about his dad, right? He didn't want to say anything about the way he was raised or whatever. But he was very emotional when asked about, would you treat your sons like that?
Yeah.
And he said, never. I would rather they be terrible at basketball. I would rather they be terrible at life and just be taken care of than to raise them, you know what I mean? Than to raise them like that. And he said, I could never do it, And so he's very old school. I think you've heard him talk about when Charles Barkley's mom called him. He's just
right.
like, yes, Ms. Barkley. Yep. Like he was raised like that in a military family. But I thought that was really interesting that it was like, I'm not going to say anything bad about my dad. I can't do that. But no, would I ever slap my son for not playing hard enough in a basketball game? Never in your fucking life.
Yeah.
I
remember when Shaq was like, I tell my kids all the time, I'm a millionaire. You're not a millionaire. and then Sharif tweeted that picture of that iced out bust down rolling like yeah, cap. You know what I'm saying?
I love it though. Spoil them kids.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But when I interviewed Shaq like a year and a half ago, and like we had allotment of like 10 minutes, right?
Right.
It was 20 minutes because Shaq just wanted to rap after the interview. Right. You know what I'm saying? He took a picture with my dad, you know what I'm saying? Because my dad's a Q, you know what I mean? And you would think they was best friends. You feel me? Like, Shaq is a different dude. He's like as big, right? I mean, he made me feel like I was the Shaq in the conversation where he was, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I'm the most regular human on the planet, and he made me feel special. You know what I mean? So that's that. I think that's part of his superpower too. You know,
we're at JJ and I were at a celebrity like banquet fundraiser dinner a couple years ago. I think I told you guys about this. There was all these big basketball guys there, but Shaq was there with Sharif. You know, and he was there. I don't even think they were honoring him. He was just there as a favor to the people that they're doing the foundation. Most of the celebrities there are kind of ducking off, right? Like they're there because they want to see the other celebrities. Like Emmitt Smith wanted to see Eddie Murphy there hanging out, but he didn't want to like see a lot of other people. Shaq walked onto the red carpet that they had and just put his arms out. It was like, who wants a picture? Like, let's just do it. You know what I mean? He's like, I know y'all want to get a picture with Shaq. Like, just we'll do it. We'll do a couple group ones. Like, just come here. We'll do it.
Shaq is Six Flags, bro. He walks in the room and it's just fun. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I love it.
All right. Speaking of fun, Estee Lauder senior executive John Dempsey has been fired after posting this meme on his Instagram. This is from Chris Evans at Not Captain America. He was making almost $10 million a year. He posted an apology saying he didn't read it before posting. The meme.
I want to say that is an objectively hilarious meme.
Oh yeah,
my nigga Snuffy done caught the Rona at a chingy contest. That is fucking that is a 10 out of 10. That is
Zach
comedic
Fox
brilliance.
is a person that posts that.
Yes.
Not guy making, you know what I'm saying, running a company making $10 million a year. That's crazy.
Worth it?
I will say that's the first time that meme popped up on my radar. So for me, it was totally worth that, dude. It was a 10 million.
Bro, to me, honestly, dog, if I'm making $10 million a year, I have that much money. It's the universe telling me to quit, dude. If I'm making $10 million, I only need to work 1 year. You can have the other 90 mil, bro. I don't need that. I don't need a fucking helipad in my, you know what I'm saying? I just need to never work again. That's the goal. You know what I mean? And that 1 year is fine. He should have been quit that damn job.
Bro, if the volume gave me $10 million a year, I'm not tweeting shit but company man shit. Like, hey, check out our new pod coming to you live this afternoon. That hashtag ad. Like, that would be my whole social media life if I'm getting $10 million a year, dog.
Trajectory would be down horrendous if Tyler was getting $10 million a year.
But the bank would be up.
Make sure to register to vote by Friday.
We all got a price. We all got a price, Bubba.
Motherfucking right, we do.
10 million is well past it, okay? Know that. I am a much cheaper whore, okay? You could have this pussy for much less. This brown eye is for sale, okay?
Oh, fuck. Let's talk about last night. The worst bad beat.
Brown eye is for sale. That is outrageous. Come on, man.
Boom, for sale, Bubba.
I don't think they have that at the hardware store. I don't think they have that for sale sign.
Hey, for
for
10
sale by
million,
owner.
I'll create it, okay? If 10 million come out, and we'll figure it out. I'll get it tatted on these cheeks, all right? We will be all right, okay?
Last night, we had the worst bad beat in Wheel of Fortune history. This shit made mythical hero Achilles look like a fucking honorary PhD. It was a feather in your cap, and everything was filled in except for two vowels and then the M and the C and the P in cap. And the first guess was a feather in your hat. And then it just proceeded to get worse. And the one dude who knew the answer got lose a turn and bankrupt.
Right. He didn't have no money in the first place, though, did he?
God hates that man. He didn't have any money because he got bankrupt.
He was a black man too, wasn't he? That's unfortunate.
We finally landed on. Let's see, we had a feather in your map, a feather in your lap.
Jesus Christ. The funniest part of that shit was you, Mike. Mike sent us a tweet with some, no. I heard you yell that shit from Long Beach because you were sick watching that shit. Capital,
Sick,
no.
bro. Sick.
Bro, it's wild how Wheel of Fortune makes people say shit that they know they have never said a day in their life when they try to get some shit. Like, I was watching that shit last night, and like the final puzzle was barking watchdog, and this dude was like barking hot dogs. How the fuck do you think that's the answer, dog?
It's the pressure, G. The pressure, bro.
Yeah, a feather in your map. That's it. That's
feather in your map.
Where are you putting a feather in the map, bro?
You've seen that though. You can see like a quill writing on a map or something. So maybe
like
that
Magellan
makes sense.
outlining his newest course that he discovered.
Right. The imagery was there, but like, dog, barking hot dog. That should have went viral too. Why did that go? Post that shit. Wheel of Fortune missed opportunity. G. Barking
John,
hot dog. The fuck is this nigga?
John, can you bring up the tweet that you sent us last night?
I don't have my phone on me, G.
Speaking of barking.
Bro. I don't have my phone on me.
All right. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. Please read it too, Tyler, because that, bro. And there was one where old girl was like, name the best double entendre from Mock Homie. I'm like, if she ain't married, somebody to wife her. You know what I mean? She's talking about Mock Homie, bro. Come on, man.
This is from @Tracy Capri, and John sent us this. This is an all-time tweet.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay, so it's from Tracy Capri, and it's saying, y'all be talking about marriage as just a piece of paper until they put you in that man obituary as a special friend. I put my daddy girlfriend in there as his loyal companion like she was a German shepherd.
The way Tyler put the phone down so he could slap his leg, bro.
Oh, that's an all-timer. That is a fucking all-timer.
Like a German shepherd.
Like a German shepherd. And of course, Twitter's the land where everyone takes everything serious, so it turned into a conversation of the merits of marriage. I'm like, bro, this is not that. This is a joke. She welcomed us into a very intimate part. She shared her dad's death with us to make us laugh, and you're going to serious this shit up? Come on, let's just have some fun with this shit,
and
man.
it was funny. It wasn't like it wasn't
hilarious.
funny, but that's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people.
She also circled back around to empty the rest of the clip out because she said, this is picking up some traction. So let me just say, if y'all knew half of what that lady tried to pull on me leading up to and after his death, you would be commending me for how I handle things. This is a person who has 800 followers on Twitter. It was probably lower than that before she had a tweet with 10,000 retweets, who was making a joke to probably 30 of her friends who know about this horrible situation in her life. She made her problem was she made a funny joke, as John said. So it got retweeted to Twitter at large, which is not a place you ever want to exist.
Going viral as hell. That motherfucking mute notifications for this conversation, that should be doing numbers with me, dog. Fuck Twitter, man.
Every time he tweets, mute.
Yeah.
You're living well in that moment. All right, that's all the time we got. We'll be back on Monday. I think I've been wanting to talk to you guys about Euphoria for a while. We haven't had a chance to get to it. Maybe we'll do that on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this. Yes. I just want to say this. The Dominic Fike song was good, and it was just as long as it needed to be. If you didn't like it, it's because you weren't high enough. And how dare you talk about that song if you're not high watching a drug show? That's your problem, not Dominic Fike's or Euphoria's.
If you're listening to any acoustic guitar song, why are you not high? Let's start there.
Why? Why?
And
then you have the nerve to have a take. Undeserved. Undeserved, bro. Untenable. Sit your ass in the stands while we out here playing. All right, fuck out of here, bro.
Sober watching a drug show is not a good look. You know what I mean?
Bro, I can't watch these kids do these wild, scary things unless I'm high. My nerve's too bad. Okay, you know what I mean? Sheesh.
All right, we'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.
Bye.